The squad unites to chat about the myth of the rom-com and conversely the belief that bromances can exist. But they are immediately triggered by the Ronz's inability to silence his phone because he is a self-important asshole that believes he is on call to take a package in the face. Get ready to enjoy the torrential wave of abuse he endures because this is the Slaptail Squad, so let's get slappin'.
Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you're listening to this, you are a member of the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? Well, I'm the Beaveman, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the great Slaptail Nation army. I try to say that all in one breath, but it doesn't work. So I have to take a breath before I say Lord High Commander. Anyway, also with me today is my number 2, the Ronz. Say hello, Ronz.
Hey, Beaveman.
How's it going?
Tired as hell.
And moving.
Thank you.
And moving on, because I knew he wasn't going to say anything interesting. Also with us today in the Beaver Den.
Interesting. Okay.
Is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
How are things going, Swan?
Things are fine.
Okay. Also with us
today. Bleep it when I say bad words.
Also with us today. Looking very stylish, and probably this happens a lot of times with Tremonde when people are around him. They just get all flusterpated. Flusterpated? Twitterpated? I don't know. Because he's the sexy chocolate. He's our own personal pudding pop. Tremonde.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, Tremonde.
Good evening.
Swan?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ronz?
Yes.
Ronz?
Yes.
Ronz?
Yes.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Beaveman.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for having me up at such an early fucking time.
Oh,
I
God.
feel like we've discussed this, and this was your suggested time.
Oh. Who asked you to talk?
I'm just reiterating your suggested time.
Hey, I'm important.
Look
I'm
at
important.
me.
It's
Oh, look at me.
important.
Look at
So
me,
if
everyone.
we didn't have you up, that text message that's probably fucking way important would have
Look
gotten
at
you up
me.
right now.
Look at me,
He's
everyone.
on call for important
so
top
important.
secret activities. On
Somewhere.
call.
Actually, believe it or not.
Always on call.
Somewhere there's
Always
a
on
package
call.
that needs to be shoved in my face.
Like the
Always on
Batman.
call.
He's on call like the Batman.
What's it like being on call, Ronz? To have a job that's so important that people have to get a hold of you at any point in time. What's that like?
That's really cool sometimes. That really is. Because when you realize you're that much desired, it can be a strain, but it's worth it. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Tremonde,
and
is there
Tremo-
anything that you would keep your phone on like that for during the middle
he
of your
would.
sleep? Like, is there anything that's that important to you that you would be willing to be on call all night long?
Ooh, I can think of one thing.
Something that can't wait until the morning. What is that thing, Ronz?
Just Tremonde
Well,
know that
see
he's.
if it-
Does
I-
Tremonde
well,
know that he is muted?
Whoa.
There we go.
Whoa, that was,
Just my child, like that's it.
yeah.
Okay, see, that's where I was going, but that's not what you were going with, Ronz. Where was it? What was it?
Yeah, no, that's where I was
it
going.
wasn't.
Yeah, I would say his child or his significant other. But you're not. I'm in. Well, that was actually a little powdered donut texting me.
So if somebody really wanted to get a hold, I don't know if you know this or not, but you can actually turn your sound and your vibrations and everything off on your phone. And if somebody really wanted to get a hold of you, they could call if it was that important. Because if somebody really needed to get a hold of you, I don't think a text is what's going to be sent. Just so you know. Having been tied to a pager, multiple phones, multiple pagers, all those other things.
Hey,
over
what
the
you
years.
and the Swan
No,
do?
don't even try it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you some some perspective in life of what it means to actually be on call for things.
Yeah.
And if people really want to get a hold of you, they will.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like it's so asinine when people won't turn off their freaking cell phones.
Wow.
Like my father will get text in the middle and he won't turn it off. It's not like it's on vibrate. It actually makes a tone like your stupid shit does. And I'm like, what exactly is it so important for you to get a actual sound alert in the middle of dinner or somewhere else?
Like in the middle of your family gathering at Christmas where all of the important people in your family are all in that room. And he's like, "Oh, it's Josh from blah blah blah. Let me take this call. Hold on." And the
Or-
rest of us have
or
to hear
I don't
that.
know who this is.
Let me take this call.
I don't even know who this is. Well, geez, if you don't know who it is, why is it important?
Why acknowledge it?
Fucking
Yeah.
I mean, what
So
did we
does
do?
It, does it
Oh, go ahead, Tremonde.
does it bother you all when just like people in general, like phones are like ringing and going off in
Oh, yeah.
public places?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why do you need it on? Like it's in your pocket and it vibrates, or it's synced to your watch, or like you check it every 5 seconds and you know you missed that call anyway, or text message. So why do you need it to actually alarm to you
Yeah.
as well?
John has his on like the loudest, most obnoxious like ring so he can hear it. And I'm just like, that drives me up a wall.
Next
he
time
probably-
I see him, I'm going to punch him right in the taint.
Does he also have like a watch that it's synced to as well?
Yes.
So then
And then
why
he-
do you
he's-
even need that ringer? Isn't it? I mean, it goes to your alert on your watch.
And then he's one of those people who will like look at the caller ID 2 or 3 rings before he like silence it. I'm just like, dude. I just want to slap the phone out of people's hands when they do that.
I think you should do it. That would be great.
You
I
know,
dare you.
after all these years, I've realized that I continuously carry a phone and I hate it. First of all, I hate the phone. And after all this time of carrying it, I should just stop carrying it because honestly, I've never had anything important come to me when I've been out that was life threatening or really that important that I needed it for.
True.
So I don't even know why I carry it.
I don't even know what the ringer of my phone is because I honestly don't. I don't think I've ever heard it ring. I don't know what it sounds like.
Well, mine's an actual
Phone.
Mine's an actual phone.
Yeah. I have no clue what mine is.
Mine isn't any of those goofy ones. Mine's an actual. It rings.
So do you use your cell phone for a lot more than just a cell phone, though?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, except mine's actually important. Except what I use mine for is actually important.
What
so.
do you use yours for, Ronz?
Oh, geocaching. You were going to say geocaching, weren't you?
He was.
Well, that was one of my answers. You're exactly right. Geocaching, keeping in contact because my schedule's constantly in flux.
Oh my gosh.
He's so
So
important.
fucking important. Oh.
That and, little powder donut when she needs something. And
Yeah,
the
but
boy.
that's what I meant
Upstairs
though.
and she
In the
texts
grand
you.
scheme of things, how many times have you actually found or been communicated something super important was communicated to you in comparison to how much we carry our phones?
Oh, in comparison to that, I'd say not that much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. I'm like, so why do I fucking carry it? Why do I
Well,
carry it? I don't know.
Just for that
That's-
security of having it.
Yeah, but we didn't use. But we
didn't-
grew up without them.
exactly. And we got from point A to point B without getting lost, or maybe you got a little lost, but you still got there. You remembered
However,
people's phone
in
numbers
that
and
day
addresses.
age, in that day and age, how many times that something went wrong and you had no way to communicate and you were kind of SOL out there?
Probably not
Right.
very many at all.
Not hardly at
Like,
all because
I
there were
mean-
payphones everywhere.
Yeah, and people would stop if you got a flat tire or something. Someone would stop and help you, or
Yeah, and you know what people used to do when I was a kid? If
What?
they got a
What's
flat
that?
tire outside of our house, they'd come knock on our door and we'd let them use the phone.
Yep.
Not,
back
Mhm.
in the day.
Yep.
I've never had that happen, but okay.
Did you live on a country highway?
I lived in a city.
Like,
But then
lived on-
again,
I lived
I
on
knew
a
how to
highway
change a tire.
that was. Not everybody can
Not-
change a fucking tire.
Grandma,
You gotta be kidding me.
80-year-old whose car broke.
Ron
didn't ever-
took it completely different.
Yeah, I knew. Well, fuck you. I knew how to change a tire. Unless he
Yeah.
said new, he doesn't know how to change one anymore.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
But that is interesting, B man. Like I remember even growing up in Flint, where crimes and things were much more likely to happen. there were several times people would come and knock on my grandparents' door and like need something and would ask for the phone.
Yeah.
And they would just stand there and wait, make their call, and thank you, and they'd be on their way. Like,
Yeah. That's what we used to do. Even when I was a kid, when I was a latchkey kid, people would come and I'd let them in the house, let them use the phone.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I lived on it. Like I said, it's not like really the more appropriate example, Ron, since you can change your own fucking tire, is that most people hit deer out in front of our house all the time and would wreck their cars. So I just hit a deer. Here, use the phone, call tow truck or whatever. Very common.
Cool.
Very common.
Very common.
Yep.
Well, I do apologize for not. Usually, I turn down my phone. I really do.
No, you don't, because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like you've
No,
been
it
called
doesn't.
out. You've been
It
called
happens
out
on this
before.
show.
You've been called out before for your alerts on your
I
phone.
have
My
been
guess
called
would be
out
my
before,
guess
but
would
it's-
be every my guess
so
would be every
important.
4. My guess would be every 4 episodes we call you out for your phone.
So I'm good to
But
go
yet
for another 3
but
episodes.
yet he can't respond to a text from us. See,
Yeah. So, ooh, look,
So
we've
what
Wait.
you
just
say is
delved
what
into
you
something
say.
there.
So what you say is in direct conflict of what you tell us. See, you're so
What?
important that you have to respond to all these different texts, but you don't respond to ours. And one of the
Okay.
biggest things we yell about is communication. But yet you insist you're on top of communication. So I guess you just ignore our shit. Is that what you're saying then?
Well, maybe.
Because that's what it sounds like.
No.
That was
No,
just his AOL alert going off.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Wow.
You've got mail.
Yeah. AOL doesn't
Yeah.
even exist anymore. How
Last
weird is
time
that?
when we
You just
brought it
told
up,
us
you
it
said
did.
that it did.
And Hotmail and whatever other ones you've said.
Which is it, Ronz?
Yeah.
Does it exist or not? Because last time we said something about it, you
Yeah,
said
you're right.
it
You're
still
absolutely.
exists.
The AOL mail exists, not the company itself. I'm not sure.
Oh, now you don't know. So now you're just spewing bullshit from the top of your
You're
head.
exactly right.
I don't know why,
Wow.
but apparently we're using StreamYard today, and of course the Tascam Mixcast 4, my good buddy Mixie. But some reason, apparently StreamYard is so AI intensive that it knows we're yelling at Ronz because it has highlighted remove.
It did.
on Ronz.
It wants us to kick him off the stream.
Remove
It's
him.
like,
Remove
get rid
him
of Ronz.
immediately.
I was going to bring that up, but I didn't. I saw it too.
Yeah, it's funny. What you drinking there, Shmonde?
Some cucumber water.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's a little early, don't you think?
Yeah, no. Just some cucumber
All
water.
right, well, good.
I don't have
My
any
eyes
water.
melted rather fast.
I don't have
but
any
that's-
water.
That's why when I like drank it, I was like, "Oh no, should I not drink it anymore?" Because
Oh, she might
she
be
doesn't have
thirsty.
hers.
She might be thirsty.
I'm so thirsty. This will be the one time that I start coughing uncontrollably, and I wish I had a drink.
I have a drink right here you can borrow.
I don't need it. I don't.
So,
I'm good.
B-Man, like thinking about what you were just like saying about the phone, like 2 things just came to mind. How often do you all travel together as a family and everybody take their cell phone,
Mhm.
knowing that the person that you will most likely talk to
Right.
is right there with you?
Yeah.
And then
All
like,
of us. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, I bet that probably happens a lot with most families.
How often do you sit in the same room and text each other? Or one room away and text each other? Because that happens all the time at our house.
Really?
All the time. Like, can you bring me some water? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer texts very frequently, or if she wants to communicate.
can I
Uh,
go to Anna's?
It
Can I
was
have some
so
water?
much. It was
Like,
so much better not having our phones. To
Mhm.
to reinforce my point, I could go and do stuff all day and come home and not have any messages on my answering machine. So why would that have changed now? In other words, nobody was trying to get a hold of me before. Nobody's probably trying to get a hold of me now. So why do I take a phone with me?
I don't know. And don't you think you get so much more communication of dumb things that are irrelevant? Like people just
I
send
would
you
say that
random
you-
texts of dumb things versus.
Yeah, I get the dumb thing part because however, I would also like to think that it's part kind of like a safety net too, just in case. I mean, you have the daughter who might be get into a bind, right? So you take your phone just in case. It's a just in case thing, really. Honestly, that's all it is for me. It's just in case. 90% of the time, and I'll agree with Swan. All bullshit aside, yeah, no one's going to text me except some company that wants me to extend my car warranty for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
I get it. but it's a safety net. It's kind of like, okay, just in case.
I think
Yeah, go ahead, B.
I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like I do hear that component of it, but then like I'm thinking about that safety net piece that you're speaking about. Of like now, if someone needs money, we can just cash app it to them via phone. But like, what happened to like just teaching people responsibility, teaching people how to manage
Nah.
a
Like
checkbook?
you,
Like,
you're saying phones are taking away coping mechanisms completely.
I think it's phones are like probably like as it was said, like kind of like the worst thing we can have. Like we do everything on our phone. We can't spell anymore because it autocorrects. Like we don't stop to look at directions. We just listen to the GPS. Like we are so attached to our devices.
Yeah, all of my
It's crazy.
calendar. Like, what happens if your calendar wipes out something? You're like screwed. You don't even know what you're supposed to do tomorrow
Yeah.
because you don't. It's not on your calendar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And people are complaining often about kids being on video games a lot. Well, adults are on phones a lot.
Yeah.
Just as much.
So
Yeah, I saw people out. I see people outside. I went shopping yesterday, and I saw a bunch of people sitting outside together. Clearly, all went shopping together, but they were all sitting outside looking at their phones.
Yeah.
So, would you think using your phone is also a great way to disconnect with people that you don't want to talk to?
Well, I mean, you already don't have to talk to them. So,
well, no. So someone approaches you, and you're like, "Oh, I was on the streets, and standing there, and someone approached me."
Ronz,
and like,
that's because they thought you were homeless and they were giving you change.
yeah, they were, but then they went into this.
Oh, look at this poor guy. Clearly mental illness, talking to himself.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
Has his
But
shirt
they went
tucked,
into this
has his
religious
shirt tucked
spiel.
into his jean shorts with a belt.
But then, Ron, that's teaching people not to have a voice. Like
no.
Instead of just saying,
hear me out, right? And I understand where you're going with that, Tremonde.
Wait a minute, how do you understand where he's going? I want you to say what Tremonde was going to say. Where was he going with it first?
Well, let me see what I was going to say first.
You say what you were going to say, and then you tell us what Tremonde was going to say. Because if you can accurately do it, you have become Swan. So please go ahead.
So I was going to say, when I was approached on the street, or I was watching this something.
Again, they think you're homeless.
Yeah, whatever. And they go, Jesus saves. Sir, have you been saved? Here it says in this verse here, you can be saved, right? So if you are carrying around a Bible and you open up to page 13, and it says, step 1, back up and restore. Amen. Can I get an amen? Right? The one step back up easily backs up your data files, like Jesus saves you, right? Because who doesn't want to be saved? Right?
What the fuck? So
and the copy machine makes you a clone. Let's face it, we all know it. So what does that mean to you? The God's got a greater plan. And then at that point, I'm like, oh, hold on, I got a phone call coming in.
And he's using his shoe. Hold on, I got a phone call coming in.
Yeah. Hey, it
Sir,
worked for Get Smart.
Sir, that's a shoe.
Yeah.
Now, what was Tremonde gonna say? What was Tremonde's
I have
point?
no idea at this point. I forgot.
What you just said
Dead. Oh,
is
shit.
one of the
Yeah,
most
I knew you were going to do
insanely
that.
idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point
Point.
in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That's true. It's just never gonna get old.
nope.
I love it so much. Tremonde, what were you going to say?
Yeah, what were you to say?
thank you, Ron.
So Ron's rambling incoherence means if someone approaches him and he didn't really want to talk to him, he pretends to take a phone call.
That's what. There's a really
That's
long
what
way
he
of
was
getting
saying.
to.
However,
Yeah.
I mean, if that person was coming up and spewing Jesus or whatever they were going to spew to me, I'd be like, not interested. Thanks. Have a good day, and walk away.
And that's what I was getting to, is people just using their voice and saying that they're not interested or whatever thoughts or feelings they may have, instead of us finding ways to lie.
So Ronz is a dickhead, is what you're saying. He's like, I'm going to pretend to take this important. I'm going to pretend that I'm super important and I have to take this phone call to not make conflict of say, no, I'm not interested Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a good day.
Yeah, technically,
Yeah.
Ronz is being a bigger dick because
Yeah.
they just look at him and know that there's no way that anybody's calling him with anything important.
You're like,
They're like, there's no way you're making some high roller decision right now, sir. I can tell by looking at you. That ain't happening.
it's the mission calling. You're late for curfew.
They wanted to let you know that they do have a bed
We,
tonight. They
we
do
have one
a
bed left.
Oh, there you go.
Ah.
So just using the phone though as as a way out. Now, honestly, sometimes they have something interesting to say, and I'll listen. But there are other times where it's like,
Yeah, but
I
can't you
don't
just
think that's true.
excuse
I
yourself
just-
from that conversation.
No. You know what? That's not what's happening anyway. Those people, one, are not approaching him. He's going up to them. They're trying to get away. And this is what he's seen happen to him before. They pretend to take a call.
Oh, that's it. That's it. It's from direct experience.
He's like, I'm going to see if I can flip it.
Make it my own scenario.
Make it my own scenario.
there you go.
Anyway,
Also,
no.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, most people also use their phones for just a lot more than just talking. They use the camera setting. I mean, when you're out and about, how many pictures do you take when you're, let's say, walking on the beach or something?
I don't.
I mean, I can't even tell you the last pictures that I took. Well, I did, again, from Arizona, but that was a long time ago.
So Ron, I think that
Yeah,
the more you, like I said, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because there's
there's a
there's
wrong
a flip
answer. You're
side
gonna let
to-
me, man, tell me what it is.
there's a flip side to all of that. Because if you talk about cameras, that's destroying
Living in the
the
moment.
fucking world because one, we're not living in the moment because we're too busy
Right.
trying to capture something,
I
and
do
before we
that.
know it, it is already flown away.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't do that.
and
Do
then
what
we
you
have
want.
all these filters and things.
Well, you're talking about using the filters for something else. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
that's not
when
what
I've been out.
He just said both. He said taking a picture of while you're doing something.
Yeah, it's
So
not
you're
living in the moment.
destroying, like, hey,
Well,
kid, can you do that 50,000 times so I can get a good picture to post on the internet?
Oh,
That's it.
You're talking like that, but I live in the moment when I'm on the beach with Little Powder Donut and she wants to take a picture of the sunset or the
Yeah, but can't you
schooner
just
down in
take,
South
what are you
Haven.
going to do
you
with
just enjoy
that
the
picture
sunset?
That's my next
later?
question.
Like, it's going to be blocked up on your phone for, like, what? When's the last time you printed a
He
picture
likes
out?
to keep stuff. Remember?
He
Yeah,
does.
well,
He
you
wants
can
to keep
download it.
He wants
and
he
keep
wants
it.
signatures to keep.
You want me to sign it for you? I mean, to autograph it?
Sure.
Okay.
But you could, I mean, how many pictures back in the day before we had cell phones did your parents have? I mean, they had entire reams of photos.
Yeah, but no, not. I mean,
Not
I
my
probably
parents.
have
They're
one
expensive to make.
album of my baby pictures, and they were, over the first 3 years of my life, and there's probably a total of like 40 pictures. Now you have 8,000 pictures of your trip to the beach.
Yeah.
So you don't take a picture of the daughter when she's out and about and doing a sports event?
Again, why can't you just live in the okay, so your opinion is to take a picture. Our opinion is live in the moment. That's like why whenever we do stuff, my mom's like, you should take pictures. I'm like, why? Why can't I just be enjoying what we're doing instead of taking pictures? My dad likes to do that. Oh, let's take a picture at dinner. One, I've never seen those pictures.
No, none of those pictures have been like printed out or
Never seen them.
posted
Have you
or
ever
developed.
asked for them?
Yeah, we have actually. They don't even know how to get them off their digital camera. They probably just got them sitting on a, what do you call those? SD card.
Okay. So
Floppy
have you
disk.
showed them how to do that?
Ronz, Oaxaca.
where are you going, Ron?
Ronz, did you watch the movie that we told you to watch?
I did not.
God damn
What's
it,
your
dude! That was
excuse? Do you
our
have a valid
fucking
excuse?
plan.
Do you have a valid excuse? Let's hear your excuse.
I stayed up for the last 48 hours getting that what is it, that little thing taken care of for the speeding ticket. I found a course and
So let me ask you a question. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
what you did. So
Yes,
you
sir.
knew what the plan was for this podcast about the thing that we wanted to talk about.
yes, sir.
Why didn't you just watch the movie?
I just told you what I just did.
It didn't take you 48 hours to get that done.
So what was your plan then exactly for when we were going to talk about the concept behind this movie? You were just going to wing it?
He was going to Google it real quick.
Yeah, I was.
He
I
did.
was.
He did. Do
I
you
was.
remember what it's called?
I love you, man.
Okay, you get 1 point for that. However, you're like negative 12 still for not watching the movie.
I get it. Yeah.
So Ronz, we're just going to go ahead and remove you from the podcast right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and take you off, and we'll see you later. How about that? What do you think? Would that be fair?
He was gonna cry. He's like already getting the tears.
Yeah.
Or the tears are welling
the
up.
tears are coming.
They are.
Would that be fair? I mean, you didn't do your
assignment.
You can spare an hour and 20 minutes.
After,
and then so you just
out
showed
of
up,
a whole week's worth of hours.
and you just showed up, and
Like,
were
you
like,
could have
hey,
watched
how about
that
I'll just show up.
in increments of like 10 minutes while you're taking a shit.
Did you?
So maybe
No.
we can use his like lack of knowing about the movie and just like see how we can like what's his perspective of Bromance not having
Watch
that
the
understanding
movie.
of it.
No, I think the ultimate bromance movie isn't this. It's actually the Lethal Weapon series.
But how would you know if you've not watched this
How would
movie?
you know if you haven't seen the movie?
I said the ultimate bromance.
But
in my
how,
opinion.
in your
You said
opinion,
was not this movie.
was not this movie.
So
It
how
was.
would you know if you hadn't seen the movie?
You
It
don't.
doesn't matter what I didn't see. I said, and I quote.
Yeah, but no, you just
No.
compared
You
it,
don't
and
get
quote-
to weigh in on
but-
what I
and
think.
You quote, you said, is not this movie, it
Yeah.
is the Lethal Weapon movies. But you don't
Yeah.
know because
No, I don't
you
need to
haven't
know because I like the Lethal
seen-
Weapon movies.
But what if you liked
I'm
this
getting too
movie
old for this
better?
shit.
What if you liked this movie better? Because we
No,
all, I don't know,
listen,
I won't
Lethal
speak for
Weapon is the-
Tremonde. We have seen those movies, and I think this movie is better than the Lethal Weapon movies.
So it's not even about the movie, first of all. It's about the concept of a bromance and whether or not I think it can be, whether or not it exists. But it would have been nice if Ron would have done what we asked him to do, but he didn't. And not only did he not do it, he didn't let us know that he didn't do it, which again is poor communication. And so how is it that if this is supposed to be a professional podcast, how can it be a professional podcast if there's no communication from the main people?
Yeah, Ronz. Dig your way out of that one.
Yeah.
And then Beaveman, bring it back to poop.
Yeah,
Bring it back to poop. Bring it back to poop.
justify your existence on this podcast, Ronz, and go.
You have 30 seconds and you wasted like 8 of it right now.
I was trying to find my notes.
Your notes?
His notes that. Hey, let me guess what
fucking
it
notes?
starts with. Hey, Tremonde, can you tell us a time when you were gay that you were stereotyped? What is the stereotype?
What is a question that you don't like to be asked as a gay person? Was that part of your notes, Ronz?
No,
he
it wasn't.
deleted that one finally.
No, I bet he didn't. My guess is that he did not delete
I
that.
did. I deleted that one.
Anyway,
I
love rom-coms. I think I've said this before.
yes.
But rom-coms are not accurate because for many reasons. First of all, if a man breaks up with a woman, that's always how it is, right? Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy tries to get girl back, or boy finds another girl, right? Isn't that how it is mostly?
Mostly, but there's ones that go the other way. So yeah. Okay.
What's the other way?
Where it's the girl.
Not that way, Tremonde. I was gonna
Tremonde.
I was gonna reference that, but I thought Tremonde would do that. I thought he would correct me and be like, I thought Tremonde would do it in his voice and he'd be like, no, there's also where boy meets boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. This one got me.
I got you.
I got where you were going.
Boy meets
There's
boy.
a movie out there like that, actually.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Of course there are.
There's
Ron.
movies about
There's a
everything.
fucking movie about everything. There's a movies about freaking midgets that are possessed with freaking the ghost of a gopher that was on the first Mayflower. There's movies about everything.
I'd watch that one.
I'm sure you
I'm
would.
sure you would before you watch I Love You, Man.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's
Anyway.
the brief. So, boy, let me just stick with my trope. You guys can do your own trope. This is my trope. Boy meets girl. Boy loses girl. Boy may never have had girl. Maybe boy just pines for girl. Whatever. Boy makes some grand gesture to get girl. Girl loves grand gesture. Boy and girl end up happily ever after.
The end. Yay. With a little comedy in there.
Right.
Right.
And it's all always bullshit.
Yes.
Because if you are a boy who's interested in a girl And let's do the she's in love with a jock, but you're a nerd. And you do some grand gesture and she realizes how wonderful you are and leaves the jock to be with you. That's not going to happen. This is all stuff that they made up in the 80s. The 80s were very big for this.
Mm-hmm.
They were very big on that. And so every 80s nerd is watching these movies going, that's all I have to do. I just have to make some grand gesture and Susie P. Rottencrotch will love me forever. And she'll dump that jock who clearly is obsessed with penis.
Yeah. No, that
doesn't
only
happen.
happens 20 years later when girl realized that jock is fat, balding, can't get it up, and still works at McDonald's.
And guess what? That nerd doesn't want your drippy snatch
Yeah, not anymore.
anymore. But the grand gesture. Go ahead, Tremonti. What were you saying? Go ahead.
I just think that we should put that on a T-shirt.
Which part?
Which one? Which part?
Guess what? She doesn't want
Susie
your drippy
P.
snatch.
Susie P. Rottencrotch. I'm literally
You're
writing
on
it
that
down
now?
right now.
Well, it's actually supposed to be Mary Jane Rottencrotch, but I forgot to say Mary Jane, so I had to say Susie P.
I like Susie P. It has a little bit of a ring to it.
Well, I mean, but it's not original. I got that from Full Metal Jacket,
Yeah, but you made it original.
I guess. All I did, that's her sister. It's Mary Jane's sister, Susie P. They have the same last name. It's Rottencrotch.
They probably got a bunch. They came from like a family of homeschooled people where they got like 18 brothers and sisters.
Anyway,
So why do you think that? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Why do you think that is? That like why do we portray that story?
I don't know. I think it's first of all, I don't like romances, but I like rom-coms. I think they just make people feel better. The underdog wins. Everybody likes a good underdog story. You know.
I mean, I feel like if it was all pure a romance movie, you wouldn't get the guys to watch it. So they're trying to appeal to the whole audience. Like, you can go on a date and watch this rom-com movie because the girl likes it because there's cute romantic stuff, and the guy likes it because there's like comedy and action, and everybody finds something common they like.
Or how they take it, or how they do like the Swan says, where they flip it, or they'll use a girl and they try to make her look homely, but you can tell she's hot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they take her glasses off and do her hair differently. Like, oh my God, she was hot all along. You're like, oh my God, seriously, you could tell she was hot from the freaking beginning.
Yeah.
So what movie started out really weird, but turned out to be a...
Nope, we're not doing that.
He's distracting. It's his
You're
technique.
distracting.
No.
You're distracting from what we're talking about.
No, I'm not. I'm just
Talking
going to say...
about the myth that is a rom-com.
No, I was going to say what movie started out
How would I know?
completely different, but turned out to be a rom-com in disguise.
I don't know. Are you going to tell us? Do you have an example of that?
One was, what was it?
God, see, if you don't even fucking know what your
No,
example is.
I know the fucking actors. I can't tell you the title. It was about a guy who sees ghosts, but it's in the end it kind of helps him come to light, and he has a date.
Yeah, that
It was
wasn't
really
a
cool.
rom-com.
It was, I think, with
You're
Ricky
talking about
Jarvis.
Ricky Jarvis?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was much like a joke that my father would tell, where he would know the punchline but didn't know the setup.
Terrible.
Terrible. Anyway, and so this is why I think that the rom-com is a myth. It's a feel-good thing, but it's not going to work out that way. If you, let's say in real life, you get dumped by a girl because you're a fucking moron, whatever. And you're like, I'm going to play this like a rom-com. I'm going to serenade her. I'm going to learn her favorite songs. And I'm going to, basically you're stalking, and then you're going to sing out her work outside of her work, and you think that you're going to win her back. But really, you're probably going to get called. The police are probably going to get called, and you're probably going to get escorted off the premises. Life doesn't work that way. The rom-com is a fucking stupid myth. Yes, it makes us feel good. Yes, it's fun to watch. I like them quite a bit, but it's not realistic. I'll tell you my favorite one. One of my favorite ones is The Wedding Singer. I'm sure.
I love that movie.
Tremonti, have you seen The Wedding Singer?
I have.
Ooh, Tremonti has seen The Wedding Singer. All right, so that part in The Wedding Singer where he plays his guitar for Drew Barrymore on the plane?
Yep.
That would never fucking happen. First of
Right.
all, if I was the guy that she was supposed to marry, and some dude is gonna play his guitar and serenade my fiance, I'm gonna take the guitar from him and probably smash it over his fucking head. Not realistic. Not gonna happen. And not only that, if the girl is worth a shit, she should probably stand by her man just a little bit and say, you know what, this probably isn't the right place for this.
She didn't want to become Julia Gulia. She didn't. She deep down liked Adam Sandler.
Again,
But
that
even
would not happen in
still-
real life. In real life, I think that it would be so embarrassing for the person.
Yeah.
Let's say that happened to me. Because it's not realistic to say it would happen for Swan. Let's say that somebody was obsessed with the Beaveman.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to win the Beaveman's love. But I was with the Swan when they tried to do it. I would say, you know what? Let's put a cork in this, eh? This is not the right time.
Mm.
It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself.
Pick an accent and stick with it.
All right, and remove.
Oh, poor Ronz.
Anyway, so I would not do that because it's not realistic. It would be embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed for the person. Hey there, members of the Great Slaptail Nation. It's me, the Beaveman, and I'm here to deliver you a message from beyond the stars about our sponsor for this episode, Swiss Navy. No matter who you love or how you love, Swiss Navy products set the bar for sexual enhancement. There's more glide, more comfort, and even products for longer-lasting pleasure. Swiss Navy has a wide range of premium products to choose from for whatever amount fills your hole, if you know what I mean. My favorite product is Swiss Navy's Silicone Lube. Get it, use it, love it, and never be dry again. Once again, that's Swiss Navy at SwissNavy.com. And in your order comments, let them know the Slaptail Squad sent you. Swiss Navy, no matter who you love or how you love. Adios, mooch fuckos. I like rom-coms. I'm going to say it. You know, I would like to compile a list of all the rom-coms I have seen. I think that actually I would like to go back in the day and see if I could convince the girl to watch some with me. Like, I remember one of the really good ones is Pretty in Pink, but I don't remember it.
Oh, I remember that movie.
I just remember that I really liked it, but I don't remember the movie at all.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it would stand the test of time, maybe.
All I remember is, isn't there a character named Ducky?
Yes.
That's all I remember.
I think that was John Cryer's character.
And of course, there's Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
Probably Robert Downey Jr.'s in it somewhere. I don't know. It seems like it's all the same actors and actresses. Whatever happened to Molly Ringwald? What you doing, Molly? I know you listen to the podcast. So, hit us
She
up.
actually
Say hello.
filmed a small something in Kalamazoo a while back. So that was cool.
Also, everyone, if you're going to fact check anything the Ronz does, keep this in mind. It's probably wrong.
We made it up.
He's probably
We made it
wrong.
up.
He actually might have dreamt it,
He
or
has
it could
the
be a false
dementia.
memory. False memories are a thing. They really are. I know I have tons of them.
So, on your definition of what a rom-com is, can you apply that to, let's say, to me, a rom-com is a movie that I take a little power donut and I kind of like cuddle with her, and to me, that's a rom-com, right?
Okay.
So, like, one of our favorite movies, I think is a romantic love story, is Friday the 13th, right? But that's in your definition of a rom-com.
So a
it wouldn't fall into it.
rom-com is typically a movie that is billed as a rom-com.
Yeah, no, you're giving me
Halloween
these.
is not.
Not
Friday the
Halloween, it's
13th.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the
Friday
Big,
13th.
big difference.
It's not billed as a rom-com, Ronz. Just because you're defining stuff doesn't make it a rom-com.
Okay,
We know you're
that's
trying
the
to be
answer.
funny. We know you're trying to be
Where's
funny.
the comedy in there? Where's the? It's a horror / stupid movie.
That's the funny part about it, I guess, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
No, I mean the whole horror genre. I think that, speaking for myself, I agree with you, sort of. I don't think that horror. It's rom-com has to fall into that category. In other words, they make movies specifically knowing that they're going to bill it as a rom-com.
Yeah.
Whereas you're looking at the movie going, whatever. We both like horror, or however you're defining it. I think a lot of horror movies are funny, but
I do too.
but they're not supposed to be funny. Like if you watch all of the Chucky movies, I'm like, they're pretty funny. But when I watched them when I was young, I was like, that's terrifying. But as an adult, I watched it, I'm like, not scary. I'd have punted that doll across the fucking floor, and then I'd have blown its fucking head off.
Well, and some of the horror / funny, stupid movies like that have like underlying romance stuff, like, oh, there's a girl, whatever. She usually gets killed, or he saves her, or whatever. But they're not rom-coms.
No, you know, you know how you can always pick the woman that's gonna win and who's gonna live.
She's the homely one.
No. In the beginning, she's always wearing 2 shirts.
I didn't mind.
She's either wearing 2 shirts, or she has to get rid of one of her shirts, and somebody lets her borrow a tank top. That's how you always know. That's how you always know which girl is going to live. There's formulas to these things. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch
the blonde one that acts dumb and goes up the stairs or to the basement. She's gonna die first.
Yeah, like Scary Movie. I was so disappointed they killed Drew Barrymore right away. I'm like, what the fuck kind of movie is this where Drew Barrymore dies?
Yeah.
Anyway, now, as I said, the rom-com is a fucking myth. It doesn't exist. It can't exist. What? Any opinions on that? Am I wrong? Am I right? What do you think?
In real life,
You're fucking wrong. Okay, no, go ahead.
I was going to agree with you.
Never mind.
In real life, nope, it's not going to exist.
All right.
So I agree with you.
Monday?
Yes. Especially how it's portrayed in movies? No.
Ronz doesn't understand what a rom-com is.
Well,
so we can.
I guess I'm thinking about it too much, but yeah, it probably doesn't exist.
Is your life a rom-com? I mean, is anybody's life a rom? Has anybody's life? Okay, I'm going to be a little bit of a cynical asshole here because I know how my romantic life has not turned out how I wanted it to be. There's no romance. Nothing that I thought that would be in my marriage that I would find romantic and great is
this
there.
Is taking a dark turn.
You're right there for it.
No, it's true. And it doesn't matter what I do. It's never going to be that way. So either you have to do one of 2 things. Either you have to decide that it's not going to be in your life because you can't change the other person. If your partner is not interested in romance, you're not going to have it in your life. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. It's like, no, shut up. I like flowers. Swan doesn't. So I can't make myself feel great about giving my wife a giant bouquet of flowers because she doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, but in the rom-com, and I guess I'm doing a comparison here, is that the other person is willing to bend and compromise a little.
Again, I just said there is no, if your partner does not like romance, there's nothing that you can do to change somebody, Ronz.
Yeah, but I'm saying
there's no but.
I said in the beginning,
no but.
Like, don't buy me flowers. I think they're stupid. They just die. And I don't like big box of Valentine's chocolate. That's not my thing. I get that.
But you
so
wouldn't.
Why would you buy it for me?
Compromise a little, just to make the Beaveman happy.
No.
Why would you buy that for me if I don't? It's not like I'd rather have you take me and get me like an outfit.
All right, I get that. I really do.
Let me tell you a secret, Ronz. Let me tell you a secret that I learned that you probably haven't learned despite the fact that you're older than I am. You can't change another person's behavior. No matter how much you want to. The only person who can change a person's behavior is that person. And they have to decide if they're interested in changing that behavior. It doesn't matter what you want. The only behavior you can change is your own. So Swan isn't interested in that. That's why I said all I can do is realize that A, she's never going to be that way, and it doesn't matter what I do. So I have to do my own thing. Or I could just ditch her and find somebody who's interested in that.
Well, that's dark.
Yeah, but it's true. So I'm fine with that.
The second part?
Yeah, the second part.
What about bringing someone else into the relationship that's a chick?
I already told you, if they are there for my entertainment, then it's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
No, that's not okay.
That's okay. Trust me.
No.
I think they're going to come back. There's only going to be one person in that studio.
Oh, fuck.
No.
No, we're
Oh, no, I guess I was wrong. I
Oh.
was
good.
wrong
heard
again.
you. We heard you.
You thought I was I was killing the Beaveman?
I was like,
No.
what is happening? Like, did they just shut off the?
So we could argue in private? No, we keep that shit real. We're gonna argue right on the air for everyone.
No, but this brings me to my point, though. Then none of that is real. I wish it was. I wish life was like that. I wish life was like 50 First Dates or The Wedding Singer or any other great rom-com that you can pick. But it's not. My life isn't. Not saying that other people don't have a life like that. If you do, good on you. That's awesome.
Right.
But
Right.
mine isn't like that. I wish it was, but it's not.
So Beatman, when did you know this about? Let me go back. When did you know that this was the type of romantic that you prefer?
When I was a kid.
Okay. When did you know that Swan didn't necessarily fit that for you?
Probably a year after we started dating.
Okay. What made you continue to pursue her?
Well, it was foolish because she was my best friend and I enjoyed doing things with her. But then she became this lazy person who doesn't want to do anything.
Well, you can't lead it with foolish.
Because, you know,
and 20 years later.
and the screen's going to go
Okay,
blank at
so-
your argument.
Okay, so let me, Swan. When did you know that this was the type of romantic that the Beatman were?
Well, but he's really not always like that because
Wait, no, wait, go back.
well, he says he is, but in the beginning he wasn't like that. He was perfectly fine with me the way I was.
Okay,
So,
so
according to the B-Man, you
so
can't change
as he
behavior.
has. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, what compromises have you made to keep the B-Man around then? Or has he made to keep you around? Because in a rom-com, they actually do that.
I mean,
It kinda-
now we just tell each other what we want as our gifts. Like that's our
I don't think it has anything to do with the gifts. One.
well, I know.
Do you really?
Would you like the answer to that question, Ronz?
Nothing. The answer
The answer
is
to the
nothing.
question is she has made no compromise. The answer to the question is this. I have done therapy to learn how to deal with it. That's the answer to the question. I've had to do therapy to learn how to live my life the way it is currently. That's
Waka!
Waka. No, I get that. I do.
Oaxaca?
No, I get it.
There's nothing wrong with therapy. Nothing wrong
I
with being in
didn't say there
therapy.
is
No.
anything
Nothing
wrong with
doing
therapy. I'm just saying,
No.
let's just. This
There's
is
nothing
dark.
wrong with therapy.
This is too
It's
dark.
not dark. I'm just proving that the rom-com does not exist for me, the Beaveman.
Okay, can we talk
Don't
about
feel sorry for me. But
bromances
let's talk about the
instead?
bromance
Let's
and
talk
why the
about
bromance.
bromances.
Let's talk about the bromance and why the bromance could exist. Two great bromances in this world that I look at and I'm like, man, that would be great to have that.
Okay, can I tell you my favorite one?
Sure. What's your favorite bromance?
JD and Turk on
That is
Scrubs.
one of them. That is a.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
That is
that's a great
probably
one.
that might be ranked the greatest bromance.
When I think of bromance, that's what I think of.
Of course.
Either that or I think of Dumb and Dumber. Those two on Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty equally matched together. They're
Yeah.
pretty funny together. Yeah, sure. In a
I
movie.
would say the Lethal Weapon series for me. Not the TV show, the movie.
I didn't even know there was a TV show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there was.
Okay, so if it clearly wasn't good, I'm not going to watch it.
Fair enough.
Tremonde, you got a bromance?
I'm trying to think if I have any that I watched prior to I Love You, Man. Like, I'm sure there has to be some, but
What about Talladega Nights with Ricky Bobby?
I wouldn't consider that a bromance. He banged his
Mhm.
wife.
Yeah, but in the end, it's like it was all good.
No, I don't consider that a bromance.
And he got the nerdy girl, like you guys said, who turned out to be.
Nah, I don't think I don't consider that a bromance at all. That's if you'd have watched the movie we're talking about, you would know what a bromance is.
Yeah.
But you didn't
But
because
you don't know, and you don't know what a rom-com is
because despite the
either.
fact that you insist
I know
that you
what a
have,
rom-com
despite
is,
the
but
fact
not
that
a
you
bromance.
have to be on the podcast, you didn't do anything to prepare for it, and you would have been pissed if you wouldn't have been on this one. Yet I knew. Normally I give you the benefit of the doubt, but I knew this time I was like, betcha Swan, betcha he didn't watch it.
That is true. It is true. Even had like communication of reasons why he wouldn't have, or his excuses for not watching it.
Yep. But again, that entire movie is, when you talk about a movie, how it's billed, was billed as a bromance.
Yeah.
Did you get emotional watching the movie, Tremonde?
At parts, yes. And it was more so the parts when and I can't remember the two characters' names. The guy that was getting married.
Peter?
Peter.
You said Peter?
Pistol Pete?
And then the new best friend.
Yeah.
Like there were moments when he was being like completely honest in what a friend should be, and Peter was just like not able to hear that. Like I feel like there's so many times when like you have people who are genuine friends, and because it's not necessarily what you want to hear, then like those are the people that you turn on, or that you intentionally like deny. Like, and so like in those moments, I was like, damn, like you're about to lose a really good friend.
Yeah.
But I also think his friendship with him was a bit manipulative. Like he was monopolizing his time and like telling
That's
him
what a friend is like. This is the problem. You don't know what a real friend is. You don't know what it's like to have somebody. You probably have never had a friendship like that. And it does. And if you have a friend like that, they're not monopolizing your time. That's the thing. Is you guys are like you guys are like, well, I hate to use this old man phrase, but you're two peas in a pod. That's what it's like to have a best friend.
like Bert and Ernie style.
Yeah, pretty much. Where, you know, the ideal friendship to me as a man is like they had, where you could burn through hours and hours and hours and not realize, holy shit, we've been doing nothing for 6 hours.
And the thing about that is that like depending on like time changes that. So like Peter, we saw like all that he was experiencing with his best friend. Like he needed that. Like he needed that outlet. Like I remember him like doing like the air guitar. Like he did not ever do that in front of his wife.
Right.
Like she knew nothing about that. But like that was like built up inside of him. So I feel like yes, it took a lot of his time because like that's what he needed. Like
he went through like 10 years of best friend in like a month, or however long it took for a couple weeks to had to go through all the stages of friendship. Okay, I can see it that way.
Personal growth. He needed exactly what Hermione said. He needed to have that. I mean, how many times in life has that happened? And of course, you know, like I look back through my whole life, and only one time I think really did I ever have a friend like that who you could be with for hours and hours and hours and be like, holy shit, it's been 8 hours and we just did nothing.
Was that me in the beginning of our relationship?
No, it was not. No, it was not.
No.
Or you could just, you know, like be out in the woods, hanging out and just have a campfire and just talk about nothing for hours and hours and hours. And I knew what girls he liked, and he knew what girls I liked, and we knew what our life was going to be like someday.
Yeah.
And I've
just
never
completely open and
had
honest.
it, and I've never had it again, my entire life. So yeah, that's why I say the bromance can be real, and no woman or partner should ever squash it, motherfuckers.
No,
should not try to crush it.
I completely agree.
Because it's so rare to find. It's just the same thing, you know, and it's the same thing for any partner. Like if you had somebody like that, Swan, if that was somebody that meant that much to you, I would definitely not squash it. I would welcome it, because that would mean that you would be gone.
I was going to say, I can you get one? Because I feel like that would be great for you.
You can't just, it has to just happen.
Well, when you say Tremonde would be his perfect partner for a bromance?
No.
They have their own.
We already have it. You can't force it, Ron.
Yeah,
we already
they have their own
relationship
and their own dynamic.
I didn't force it. I said, don't you think Tremonde?
No, but they don't. That's not their relationship. That's not their friendship. They're friends. They're good friends. they don't bromance together.
Yeah, Tremonde's like the little brown brother I always wanted. Keep in mind, I already have a little brown brother, but he's not. This is the one I
That is
wanted.
cool.
This is the one I wanted.
With a
Aw.
bigger
Yeah, with a bigger schween, as far as I know.
heart.
Heart.
Oh yeah. Bigger.
Yeah, that was a Ron's pause.
He's
I love it.
he's definitely got a
With a
bigger.
bigger heart.
No.
No, you
Quite
can't
okay.
force it. The bromance has to be. It just has to happen. You know. You just know. You know. Sadly, my bromance ended when I left for the army, and it never picked back up.
Have you attempted to rekindle that bromance?
Oh God, don't go there.
He's dead.
Wow. My
Thanks
condolences.
for asking.
Thanks for
Oaxaca.
thank you. good use of Oaxaca. Yeah, see.
He's fucking dead, Ron.
Oaxaca.
Thanks.
Oh, poor Tremonde.
I-
Tremonde can't even wrap his head
there-
around this
if-
conversation.
If there was a moment when I wish like this podcast would have dropped, that would have been the moment. Like,
It would have been better if Ronz would have been. It would have been better if Ronz would have said like, "Why hasn't this asshole reached out to you
You're like,
to rekindle this
'cause
bromance
he's
that you guys
dead."
once had?" What kind
No,
of a fucking dick?
No. I've had some bromances that were really cool, and
I don't
then
believe you.
you don't have to.
You probably had more of a rom-com.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, then
If you had real, if you had real bromances, why would you insist that I could force one upon Tremonde?
I never
What about
said
Tremonde?
forced.
Can't you just force him to hang out with you?
I never said forced. I like how you whip that around. Unfortunately, like the Beaveman, they have gone on to the other side, we'll say. And it's kind of depressing.
Kind of. It's freaking depressing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I've had some.
I feel like that
will
would
not
have been
say
like
that
a
yet.
good segue into Navy lube.
Yeah, Swiss lube.
You
Yeah.
can't force
You
it.
can't force it.
Nice plug. Just the tip.
Just the
Which, by the way, I have only purchased their silicone.
Oh, it's so
Lube.
great. Did
Isn't
I,
it
did I
great?
tell you that? I don't remember if I told you this, but did you know that it is a really good moisturizer? Also,
I did not know that their brand was.
I rubbed it all over my tattoo, and it made my tattoo pop, and it was very good moisturizer.
Mm.
I was like,
I mean,
I feel like Swiss Navy should be marketing their lube for other things as well.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
they already do that. That's called fisting.
Yes, I mean,
What?
Whole forearm.
it works nice as a massage oil. It's very good texture.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So tell us about your bromance, Ronz.
Well, they've just passed away, unfortunately. So, I mean, and when you're in the military, you've got really great friends, and then you try to follow up. I mean, they come and go, as you mentioned. Unfortunately, when I tried to rekindle them or say reconnect with them in the world, you find, I found out two of my really good friends, almost one of my best friends, if you will, just, passed away. Right. And the other one died of a heart attack a long time ago. So
Yeah,
it was unfortunate.
yeah, that does suck. I had this, or how about if they like change, or how if they're totally different from what, like all of a sudden things are different. Like I had this friend who I was really close with, and when I was in the 82nd, and I thought that we were really good buddies, which we really were. And then he ended up getting not deployed. He ended up changing duty stations, and I was getting out, and so he went off to another duty station, and then I reconnected later on with him very briefly, like talked on the phone and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. We get to talk and stuff like that. But he ended up divorcing his wife, and I ended up becoming like, we still are, his wife and I are still friends. And I text, I message her occasionally, and the stuff that she tells me, I'm like, it sounds like not even the dude I knew. I'm like, how is it?
Well, people do grow.
I mean, yeah, but he grew in a really negative way. And I have no reason not to believe what she said, because the proof is pretty much there. I'm like, ditched his family, ditched his kid, all these things. And I'm like, wow, I really didn't know him like I thought I did, or he just so drastically changed from when I knew him. And it must have, it was either one or the other, because despite the fact that we talked on the phone the first time I talked to him in years, and we talked for a really long time, and he was going to call me back and we were going to talk all the time, and he changed his phone number. I couldn't get a hold of him. So, yes, I know people change, but maybe he never really was what I thought he was in the first place.
Yeah. I can see that happening too.
Unfortunate, but true.
What about you, Swan? Did you have someone like that?
Clearly not, because she already said that she didn't understand what that was like, and they shouldn't be manipulating your time and all this other crap. So she's clearly never had anybody like that.
I'm pretty sure she has some very close friend. I mean, when I first met you guys, and that you guys told me about Tremonde, and Tremonde's all this and that, and I'm like, oh, he's the
when
perfect.
We first met you, we did not mention Tremonde.
No, I should say when we started doing the podcast.
Like,
I'm sorry, I should have clarified that.
10 years ago when we met Ronz, the first thing we said was, there's this guy Tremonde. That is not what happened.
You're right. I should have stated the podcast, and because you guys always raved about him. Oh, he's a great guy. He's a great hugger. He does all this and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, marry this guy.
Tremonde is not my bromance.
What was that?
Tremonde is not my.
As a side note, Gayhead is what Ronz from the Slaptail podcast wants Tremonde to give him.
It's true. It's totally true. It's very true.
That soundbite courtesy of JD Hutchins of the Monsters Lair podcast. If you like spooky stories and you'd like to hear it from one perspective and another perspective, in other words, does he believe it? Does he not believe it? Check out JD Hutchins and the Monsters Lair podcast. And would you like to hear that soundbite again? Let's hear it again.
Also, as a side note, Gayhead is what Ronz from the Slaptail podcast wants Tremonde to give him.
I couldn't believe he said that. Right? Little Powder Joe was listening to his podcast, and she just busted out laughing. It's like, you got to mention in JD's podcast. I'm
not
like,
exactly.
Oh, really? What did he say?
Probably the mention that you actually wanted to, isn't it? And you know what? It's about that time. I would say it's about that time.
It's that time.
It's that time. This part of the podcast. It's that time in the podcast when we, the ignorant folk, ask Tremonde questions about being gay. I mean, sort of. This week's question comes to you courtesy of the Beaveman. Tremonde.
Yes.
Can you have a bromance as a gay man? Because we all know that you can't be friends with a man without wanting to suck his dick.
I think that's a stereotype. That would have been a good question for you to ask, Ronz.
No, I was asking it like Ronz.
I know you were. Oh, it's funny. So,
is it possible? Yes. Is it possible to have a bromance even with someone that you may have already done that to? Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask this question as a Ronz also. Is this why the gay man typically has a girlfriend to be her bromance? I'm not going to use the derogatory term that is typically used.
No. And it's one of those things where I think like it just depends on what that preference of that person that may need as a best friend. Like some just enjoy women being best friends. I don't think they necessarily choose a woman to be their best friend because they don't want to have any type of sexual experience with them. They just prefer to have a best friend who is a female.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think that, if I was going to pick my ideal bromance, I don't think it would be a lesbian. I just don't want to have to arm wrestle all the time.
Good Lord.
To our lesbian listeners out there, I know you're going to kick my ass. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, I would probably be okay with that too. It'd be fun, actually.
But you want to play softball.
I do like softball, so
So,
I would be
and-
okay with that as well.
Yeah, you have a really awesome co-ed team.
Yeah, I would. Would it be a bromance if my bro was a chick who liked?
If they identified
chicks?
as a guy.
Well, what if? Okay, now it's getting really confusing now. Yeah, my ideal bromance would be with someone who is just like me. That'd be my ideal romance.
You would actually get along with someone just like you?
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
I don't know if you would or not.
Oh,
In
yes, I
what
would.
way?
Yeah, I want to know what way was one of the things that I wouldn't get along with him.
I mean, I feel like there would be like conflict because one of you would always want, I mean, I guess if you like the exact same thing, but wouldn't there be competition then?
Yes. Well, that would be fun though.
I don't know. Then you would be like comparing
You
dick
can still
sizes.
have you can still have competition with your buddy who's in your bromance, as long as neither one of you is taking it seriously and just doing it for fun.
And yeah, and that's what make a bromance. Because like no matter what, I still love you. Like we still walking out of this together.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like if you
I
want
guess,
to, like if
yeah.
you're sitting there like, hey, you want to play a video game? Sure. You're gonna try to beat him. He's gonna try to beat you. Or
Wait.
let's go play basketball. He's gonna try to beat me. I'm gonna try to beat him.
Yeah,
It's
but
just fun, but we're still gonna have
Well,
fun doing it. What competition are you worried about, Swan?
Wait, did you say comparing dick sizes, Swan?
Yes.
I did.
I was like, wait.
I mean, that's the
I mean,
kind of
straight
competition
men, actually, straight men never pull out their penises that I know of and compare dick sizes. I've never
No?
done that with another man.
I mean it hypothetically, like, or metaphorically too. I mean, like, my truck is, look at my truck. It's this, like Ronz's brother and
No,
him.
see, I wouldn't have, but see, I'm not like that. And I said the person had to be like me.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Mhm.
you're trying to match me up with someone that's not like me.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Whereas I
So
don't
I
care
guess
about that stuff.
okay.
So you're not. See, you're trying to match me up with someone who isn't like me. You know, if
What-
you was, I'm looking at somebody who likes to do the stuff I like. I do. Hey, want to do nothing together? Sure, sounds cool. Let's do nothing.
Okay.
Want to go hunting? Sure, let's go hunting. Do you
I
know
see
what?
what
Do you
you're
know
saying.
what's?
And
all-
I think
do you know what all
when
the
it
specs
comes-
on this gun are? No, neither do I. Cool.
Well, yeah, I can relate to that too, because when I first came over to one of the first things that I did was when we were doing the podcast at your house, right?
I don't
And
know.
the daughter
Is it-
came out, right?
Right.
Did she?
And yeah, she we were standing there in the kitchen, in your little island kitchen, and we were talking about nerd stuff. And she goes, "Oh, you guys are finished with the podcast." And you turn around, it's like, "No, we haven't even started." And we were just, talking about Batman, X-Men, whatever it was, for almost a half hour or two. And we never even got to the podcast that day. Well, we got to it eventually. But she's like, "You guys are just sitting there talking about nothing?" Yeah.
Yeah, Ronz, I can't be in a bromance with you, man. Sorry. I would choke you. I would choke you.
There you go.
Ronz, you're my friend, but I can't be in a bromance. I would choke you.
Okay.
Okay.
You're my number
Taking-
2, but you can't be. You're not bromance material for me.
Well, I never said I was going to
I'm
be
just saying,
the
I would-
ultimate
He's
He's
trying to
bromance.
force it.
Stop
Trying to force it. Trying to force
I'm
it.
trying to force it. I would choke you. Tremonde, do you have one, or have you ever had one?
A bromance?
Yes.
Yes. And I still have them, and as like we've gotten older, like they've changed because like we now have like families and things like that. But yeah, there are some like a couple of guys who like I just have like really good relationships with, and I think it's like with that bromance, you just have this like space where you can just be like open and honest about whatever you need to be open and honest about, and it's just that like you don't look into it more than what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the problem, though. I think that families shouldn't ruin your bromance, and I think that the cancer that ruins it is always the significant other,
Ooh.
because they don't understand the concept. If you don't understand the concept, you're going to ruin it, and it's all about monopolizing time. You're like, oh no, I have to be the important person. It's not about not being the important person. It's a totally different relationship, and people squash other people's bromances.
But
Or
I think it-
important friendships.
The person can do it too because they get so monopolized with the other person that it changes. Just from my own example, like I had,
From my
What's
experiences,
your example? What's your experience there?
like it's my bromance. Well, she's a girl, so she's not my
Yeah,
bromance,
you don't
but
have
you
to
know,
use the bromance term when you're.
but yeah, my person is now so up her significant other's ass that there's no time for me anymore. And we used to be fine. Like, and you didn't have to monopolize each other's time. But now I get like a 1-word text message that says, I'm like, what you doing? Busy. Doesn't even like clarify. But she's like up this person's ass so much that she can't even see her own arm because it's so far up that person's ass.
This is pretty big.
Yeah.
Did she use Swiss Navy lube?
I don't know. She probably didn't.
Probably give her some. Maybe that would mend your relationship.
No. I mean, that
Yeah, it might make it better. You never know.
It might.
so then my question would be like, do you think that you can have a bromance or a cismance? Does that work?
I think
I
it's
don't know.
Badge Fest.
Yeah,
I
the
don't.
Badge Fest. Yeah.
Bad fest?
There you go.
Oh no, we're getting no. You're right now.
Oh,
No.
no.
You
They're
just need to make a t-shirt line.
They're
of
pussy
the shit
pals.
You say.
They're pussy pals.
Oh.
There you go.
Pals.
That's the new term.
Bad
Pussy pals.
fest? like you could sell that. Vag fest?
Members of the Great Slaptail Nation, the Beaveman has no greater fan than Tremonde.
We can like do that like after Pride
It's just
Yeah.
and just
just
celebrate.
sell
women.
this is Badge Fest t-shirts. Badge Fest
So,
t-shirts.
so my question: do you think that you can have more than one bromance,
Yeah.
cismance, whatever we call
Yeah.
it, at different stages of your life?
Oh,
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
So
Yeah.
then, Swan, do you think that the woman who you like once had something with is no longer and find somebody else?
I mean, maybe, but
You seem to have a pretty good.
The
You
bigger
seem to have a
question would be,
new
are you
relationship.
interested?
I mean,
in
I have
finding
a
somebody else?
new BFF that hangs out with me and does things and is fine. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
This is how they ruin it. Let me tell you how they ruin it. This is
How
how
do they-
people ruin
how do you
romance.
ruin it?
This is how
Yeah,
people
tell me how
ruin
you
these
ruin it.
special relationships.
Mhm.
They get jealous of the relationship. That's one way how to ruin it. And then they try to monopolize that time and try to squash that time that people have together. Or they try to become a part of that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words,
Mhm.
like with me and the Swan and her friend, she tried to force us to spend time in the same proximity with each other and with that person's significant other. It doesn't work that way. You know, you can have some casual time spent together or whatever, but really, if you're in that good of a relationship with the other person, you don't need to involve your significant other with that.
I mean,
Necessarily.
I felt like that was attempting to do like a double date type thing, like a couples thing, but it was all bad because they were too far up each other's ass that it didn't even like go well.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
I think part of it is though that you don't have to like that person's special person.
True.
I mean, you can. It would be great if you did, but you also don't have to. You don't have to spend time with them as a threesome or a foursome. You know what I mean?
Right.
In other words, let them have their time together.
Yeah, but that's taking, and I'm not jealous of their time together, but you're not making any time for me.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
You're not even listening to my example.
I was listening to your
No,
example.
you're not, or you would have understood what I said.
You said don't try to
Yeah.
get their time together. Yeah.
No, you're not listening.
I am listening.
No, you're
Apparently
not.
I
Because
didn't
you
understand
totally
your conversation.
Didn't
Okay, go
understand
ahead.
what I said.
All right.
I got a feeling the screen is about to go dark again. There's
What I said was, let's say that you have that relationship. I don't need to manipulate your time with you and her. That's what I said.
Okay.
You're talking
Yeah.
about him taking away time from you
Yeah,
guys.
Okay. You don't want to be a part of my bromance.
That's what I'm
that's fine.
saying.
That's
so,
fine.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. In that respect, he's ruining your thing,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
which has nothing to do with us. I'm like, yes, please go.
Cool. Yeah.
What I'm saying is your significant other doesn't even have to like that other person.
Monday, do you want to be my bromance?
Mhm.
What they
Want to
need
go
to
get
do.
minis and petties? Let's go. Let's go, Tremonde.
What they need to do is respect that relationship and let it grow. Because you will ruin your own relationship by monopolizing that time and being like pissed that they're spending that time together. Whereas I'm like, fucking go.
So let me flip this on you. We know what a bromance is according to the Beaveman.
No, just kidding.
I said according to the Beaveman. Listen. Now, can that bromance turn into something more? Like, would you marry that person?
What?
So let's say that you're all, and I'm using bromance in a broad term.
What the fuck are you even talking about?
Hold on. I'm using it in a broad sense that let's say this one turned out to be your ultimate bromance, right? Because you can have, best friends as women. Would you marry your best friend, and would that bromance continue?
That's not a bromance.
No, because no.
Okay.
I don't know if he would, and not to, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't want to speak for you, bro. Beaveman.
Bro. Look at
Bro.
you said
He's like inserting
Yeah, you said
himself
bro.
into there. He said, bro.
Let's not force this. Let's let it mature.
So what were you going to say, Tremonde?
He wouldn't look at that as a bromance because he doesn't look like he doesn't place her in that category for multiple reasons. Like he would still identify her as a female friend, and yes, it could be a good female friend, but it's something different about having a guy friend and a female friend. Like you go to them for two different things.
Yeah, like
So-
even when Swan was my, quote, good friend who was a girl, if she just said, oh, you want to fuck? I'd have been like, sure.
And then I'm not in the bromance category anymore.
But I had still done it.
Mm.
I had lots of girlfriends I would have gladly humped if they'd have said, hey, do you want to hump me?
But then would you have been able to be friends again?
What difference does it make? I would have
Exactly.
humped them.
I think it's possible.
So Tremonde's like, yeah, we
Well,
can
what's
be.
even better is it could be possible, but again, since you would have already tagged them, there's always the possibility that you could tag them again. That's the most important message.
I feel like that's
If you wanted to.
Right, because if you've already broken that wall, if you've already broken through that barrier, the possibility always exists. Hopefully.
well.
That's the lesson.
I feel like
That's
that
the
could
important
go
lesson.
bad. In
Nobody
lots of
cares
ways.
what you're thinking about.
It's gonna go bad in lots of ways. But
So-
okay.
Have we moved on from Ask Tremonde a question?
Well, he did answer
That
the question.
segment was a long time ago. Where were
Well,
you?
no, because I actually had a legitimate question.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I actually did.
If you don't get to ask it this week, will you forget it by next week?
Probably not.
Does
It's
it
a
have
burning
anything
question.
to do with a bromance like the question I asked?
No, not at all.
Then the answer is no, you can't ask it. Because we're talking about a bromance, and we're about to wrap it up. Do you
So-
ever look at the time,
Write it down for next
just
week.
out of curiosity, do you
Yeah,
ever
I do.
look at the time and keep time as a factor in doing the podcast?
Send it
No.
to the Beaveman for screening. He'll say whether it's acceptable or not.
Okay,
Okay.
Well, if anybody's interested,
and they are.
Tremonde is.
and you have any good bromance stories, please send us some good bromance stories. Don't let your significant other take away your bromance or your good friend, whatever you call it.
If you want to send in your application to be the Beavesman's.
No, it's got to
new-
happen naturally, Swan. I don't know how many times
I want to
gotta tell you
force
that.
it.
And there we go. There's another plug for Swiss Navy.
In case you need to force it, lube up first. No, Tremonde. No.
Anyway, all right. Well, I would say this: definitely get out there, watch some rom-coms. I do love them; they make me happy. Two of my favorites: 50 First Dates and The Wedding Singer. Great, they're awesome.
So are you a big
best-
Adam Sandler fan then?
Best bromance movie. I love you, man. And arguably best bromance in the history of bromance is Turk and JD from Scrubs.
That's what I think of.
That is actually the ultimate bromance right there, because they've always got each other's back.
Are you sure?
I thought
Because you said it was
said-
Lethal Weapon, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, for TV
he's
shows.
Gonna,
No, for TV shows.
because you said for movies. Oh boy.
Yeah, I did. But for TV shows, it would be Scrubs. And then did you see their commercial that they reprised their characters on?
Oh boy.
Okay, enough.
You know what is a pretty good... Actually, it was not a bad... You really don't think of it as a bromance movie, but now it really kind of is, now that I think about it, because it's so ridiculous with all the other stuff. I did not think of it, but Zoolander.
Yeah.
They become pretty tight bros. Ron, have you seen Zoolander?
I have. And when I think about like people really becoming bros, I think of stuff like Boys in the Hood.
That's
like,
Oh, they're definitely bros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's not funny, though.
no, it's not.
It's not funny.
So it's not that type of bromance.
No,
but
it's... I mean, it's still, yeah.
No, but they
they're
got their
bros.
backs for sure.
they have some brotherly love for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
shiz. Faux shiz.
Faux shiz. Say
Uh,
faux shiz, Ron.
For shiz.
Faux
There you go.
shiz. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, well, that's it for me, the Beaveman, saying, watch I Love You, Man. I love that movie. So good. It's so good. Probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's good stuff. Also, adios, mooch fuckos.
Bye from the Swan.
Deuces.
Thank you, B-Man. Got the last word. Stay sane, because I know it's a crazy motherfucking world out there.
I'm so confused. He just said you got the last word, and
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Said be man. And
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah. That's the way it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. I don't know how the JJ works. There we go.